media people like you, with academics like you, who inform and empower with true knowledge. No? And that's where I think survey companies find a niche. No, the more we inform, the more empowered people are. The better we do our work with integrity, with the best possible methods being utilized, the more science we bring into the thing. The more the surveys matter, no, in the life of our country. So this is something we all have to advocate as individuals, as members of organizations like Octa, like UP. So it is what it is. We're in interesting times, Richard. For the first time in a long time, we have factors running the show that are outside of the country, bigger than the Romaldises, the Marcoses, the parochialism, the personalism that pervades our politics. We have strong players in the global arena.
Yeah, the new Cold War. We're kind of the
no?
Berlin of the 21st century, if I can put it.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
we're
right.
caught
Yeah,
in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's complex, diba? It's extremely complex now. These are entities that are driving the dynamics at the domestic level, and for the first time, we really experience, no, no, and they're taking sides, they're influencing, and we have as people to be conscious of this and take charge, no, take back our politics and play a more productive role as far as democracy is concerned. And that can only happen if we inform, and empower people. I believe in an informed and educated citizenry, and of course stronger institutions. But it starts really with citizens, and that's what Octa is trying to do, trying to be a part of that movement of truth telling and truth sharing. Hopefully, we'll continue to do our work in the years to come.
Last one, I want to put, let me put myself na lang on the spot kasi kanina medyo nilagay. Now, for me, I see populism. I mean, what's Cosmo there? I mean, something like it's an illiberal democratic response to undemocratic liberalism, right?
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Right?
Yeah.
This is not coming out of nowhere. I think it's partly a protest vote. It's partly a desperation vote. It's partly also people trying something different. It's ambivalence, right?
So you think Marcos win was something like that?
Oh, absolutely. And also the appeal of what I call disciplinary politics, this whole Singapore model thing, right? So I think people have to understand that our critique of populism doesn't necessarily mean a full endorsement of what came before it. I think the two are connected. There's a causality there. Therefore, siguro last point here, again, I don't want to put you on the spot because you're from survey agencies, but you're also a political scientist. What do you think is the challenge now for the opposition? Because there's a lot of, there's the Duterte Marcos fights and all of that, but as far as opposition is concerned, nasaan ang opposition, right?
So that's the basic question. It's a more simple question. Where's the opposition? Somebody has obviously appropriated being the opposition, but are they really the opposition? And that's why the opposition has to be wherever they are, has to be more mindful and more self-conscious about this, no? And the opposition has, it can't be the opposition of the last 6 years, no? It has to be around the values and programs of government at this point, no? And there are significant debates, no, that have to be engaged, no, by all the groups, where the country is going, who is it going to align with, what are its values, no, that have to be protected. In the end, that is what will define whoever is going to emerge as the opposition. Right now, it doesn't seem clear that there is a viable or even a legitimate opposition in place, no, and largely because people have become quiet, people have become parochial and personal, people have begun to accept, no, the current dispensation. But there is a window. I think you understand, and I believe also that there's a space for progressive politics to emerge. And it really has to start along, it has to be disciplined by values, by programs, by, eventually by an ideology. I know I'm being idealistic here, but once our politics begins to be disciplined by ideas, platform, and program, then we can conceive, no, of alternatives, no,
and organization. You need organization.
Yeah, of course, organization.
Kailangan legwork yan.
The legwork. But do you believe that possibly it's very possible this administration might become more yellow than it ought to be, di ba? I mean, it's turning out to become, and it's kind of an irony of sorts, no? It
Well,
started
that's a
with
Tiglao theory, right? Like this is Aquino 2.0 or something like that. Mas,
yeah,
mas dilaw sa
don't
dilaw.
you think that that's what's happening now?
Yeah.
I mean, that's if the president's wise, okay, that's the argument. He has to run a platform that's a counter argument to the Duterte argument, no? Which is pretty clear, no? Although it's not very sophisticated, okay? And it has to go back to values, eh? And I guess this is what was wrong with the campaign of Lenny before. It just totally negated, no, that whole historical past of being yellow, no, and all that it stood for, and watered it down with pink, no, which in the end appropriated what was yellow in the first place. No, what am I trying to say here? Is the opposition has to go back to the roots, to the radix. It has to go back to the values it's been fighting for, that history.
But reinvent it for the 21st
Yeah,
century.
but reinvent it,
Yeah,
no? So
exactly.
yeah, it can't be the same opposition of 2016 eh. Iba na yung laro ngayon eh. And it's not a hopeless case for them because the current administration is looking for allies. And the current administration might actually, if they're wise, appropriate, no? And get these
Realignments.
realignments for convenience. Yeah, okay. But the thing is, that's what politics is all about in some level, di ba? The art of the possible. And I think there's a space for that, the possibility of this administration aligning with the yellows, with the
And,
Dilawan.
and how do you see in a way success of people like Riza Ontiveros, very much progressive, very much attached to more left than liberal, right?
Mhm.
Back to back, she made it in a very, very tough race. I mean, the Senate race
Yeah.
the only one. I mean, do you think that the Riza the precedence kind of tells us the way forward for the opposition also?
To some
Or is it
extent,
that sui
yeah.
generis? Or is it sui
Yeah.
is the Riza?
Yeah, but it's I think to a great extent it's the distinct style of Visa and how she captured. But I don't know if we can recreate Riza in particular. But what we do know is that we have the Dutertes arguing a particular worldview, a particular set of values, a particular style of governance, which apparently this administration can counter by, again, presenting a counter argument. And that counter argument would require them to align with the progressives from the left, okay, from people like Riza Ontiveros and the so-called Dilawans. I think there's a genuine opportunity because of the situation the unique situation we're in, where we have to deal with superpowers playing, puppet master here, that the progressives and the administration might find it convenient to help each other in the 2025 elections. These are numbers are showing that that might be formidable, and people will see the counter argument there. That counter has to be made stark to our electorate. Sino yung pro-China, sino yung anti-China, sino yung pro-WPS, sino yung anti, sino yung makatao, makajos, makabayan, sino yung pro-human rights, sino anti. These things can be made clear, but it can only find its legitimacy if the administration aligns with truly progressive forces who have a history of advocating these values. And I think there's an opportunity for that in the 2025 election. If the administration is wise, they're not going to go with the regular slate. They're going to be including people who will shock us, no? But then again, if
I'm not sure we're gonna be shocked. I mean, this is Philippines. Alam naman.
But but if the progressives are wise, they'll take up the opportunity, the tactical alliance, because it would mean preventing certain forces from coming into power again.
On that note, thank you very much to Professor Ranjit Rye of UP Department of Political Science, and of course the president. I mean, the president of the Octa research group, which has been doing very, very, very well. I'm very glad that we had. I mean, 1 hour, parang wala lang yung 1 hour sa atin dahil
I know
mga academics. But
I'm very proud of you, Richard, as my student doing this show. No, And
Thank
also
you.
want to let the people know these are my personal opinions, not opinions of
Yes, of
Octa
course.
or the university I belong to. Okay, and I'm very happy that you invited me in the show. Hopefully, we'll have more banter and discussion in the future.
Yes, I hope this is a good warm up. So expect, hopefully we'll have more of you gracing our little show here to discuss next big surveys. Kasi yeah, I think people's appetites has been whetted by yung idea na who knows, maybe the next survey ganito, ganyan. So the trend lines are very important to make a proper political analysis. Maraming salamat, Professor, and have a good day. I know you're very busy. You're getting texts and all of that. I'm sure maraming
I know.
sa'yo. But I appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me, and good luck with your show.
God bless and talk to you soon, sir.